Well, what's going on, everybody? It is so good to see your smiling faces once again. I hope you guys have been doing well. As you guys know, I am Mike the CPA, and on this channel, we teach people how to be fiscally fit as we teach finances, investing, and taxes. And today's video is a tax video, and a crucial one at that. So this is one of those tax topics that I feel that really should be taught in school, but unfortunately, school does not teach it. In today's video, we're going to be covering the 2018 1040 individual income tax return filing requirements. So that if you're out there and maybe you just started working, or maybe you're uncertain of what the filing requirements are, you're going to learn what they are today. You're going to know whether or not you actually need to file a tax return or not. And like I said, it's a shame that school doesn't teach this. It's really sad they don't, but hey, you know what? I should be thanking the school system for dropping the ball here on teaching a very crucial life skill, because it gives me more opportunity and it gives me a chance to explain this stuff to you guys over YouTube. So what I've done, guys, is I've put this Word document together for you, and it's free to download. I'm going to have a Dropbox link. I'm going to put a Dropbox link in the description section below the video and in the comment section of this video so that you can find it and download it for yourself. It's completely free, no strings attached. Okay, so before we look at all the other stuff, let's start with the income. Let's explain what type of income we're talking about here on this form. So it includes earned income. So earned income is what, guys? It's probably, as you guess, it's your wages, it's your salary. It could be tips if you're like a waiter or waitress, professional fees if you're a lawyer or an accountant, you charge, or consulting fees, things like that. Taxable scholarship income, fellowship grants that are taxable. So those are all the things that would count towards your earned income. Now, in terms of gross income, what they mean by gross income is that is your total of your unearned income plus all of your earned income. So gross income is your total of your unearned income plus your earned income. So what the heck is unearned income? Because I would love some of that. It sounds great, right? It actually is. So unearned income, where you have right here, what it says is unearned income includes taxable interest, ordinary dividends, and capital gain distributions. It also includes unemployment compensation, taxable Social Security benefits, pension distributions, annuity distributions, and distributions of unearned income from a trust. So those are examples of unearned income, and you're going to see why that's important in just a little bit. Back to the top of this worksheet and work our way down. And this won't take too long because, like I said, guys, I'm not going to read everything to you because everybody has different filing situations. I'm just going to focus on the status for single filers. Let's just do that because the rest of these are just different filing statuses, but the idea is the same. So as long as you understand this first one and what these columns mean, you're good. You're going to be able to figure out the rest for yourself. So I'm just going to cover this area, but you can see here I have information for married filing joint. If you're head of household filer, or if your status is married filing separate, all the information is in here for you. Remember, guys, this worksheet is for educational purposes only, and I really do mean that. There's always a chance I can make a mistake. I am human. There is no
cyborg Terminator skeleton hiding beneath my skin.
And I actually am a human, and so there's always a chance I can make mistakes. Now, where did I pull this information? Just so you guys know, I did pull this information from, if you go to Google, I'm showing you this here so how you can find it for yourself. If you type in 2018 1040 instructions, click this first link, and voila, here they are. So here's the actual instructions, and this is where you can go as each year goes by. So for next year they'll have 2019 1040 instructions. The year after that they'll have 2020 1040 instructions. Well, if you scroll down here a little bit, I'll show you where you can find this filing requirement information. It's all in the instructions. So if you go down a little bit, and here we go. So it starts right here. So about like 10 pages in or so, this is where it starts. So there's a chart A that talks about the filing statuses, income limits, etc. Chart B is when you're a child or you're a dependent of somebody else. That's where these rules apply. And chart C is the other filing situations, where other reasons or times you might have to file regardless if you have income or not. So there are special circumstances to definitely look into. All right, guys. So the way to look at this is there's 7 primary factors that really determine whether or not you have to file. The first one's your filing status. The tax year you're in is going to matter because the requirements are always changing from year to year. Whether or not you're a dependent of somebody else matters. Your age matters. How much earned income you have. How much unearned income you have. And if you are self-employed. So those are the 7 leading factors that determine whether or not you have to file a tax return. For this video, I'm primarily just going to focus on the filing requirements for a single person or a person who files single, but also scroll through the worksheet just real quickly, real briefly, so you can pause the video if you're another filing status, such as married filing joint, qualifying widower, or head of household. The way to read this is start from left to right. And now in this example, the person's going to be single, right? But I did include tax year 2017, so you can compare and contrast how things have changed from 17 and into 18. So in 2018, if your filing status is single and you're not a dependent of somebody else and you're under the age of 65, you don't have to file a tax return until your income exceeds $12,000 of earned income from wages, tips, fees, etc. You don't have to worry about unearned income at this point. It's just in total. If your total earned income is $12,000 or less, you're fine. And the logic behind that is because your standard deduction is $12,000, it would, if you had $12,000 in income and you had $12,000 in standard deduction, it would completely net to zero. So that's why you don't have to file until your income exceeds that amount. I will say just real briefly here before we move on is that you might, even if you aren't required to file, let's say a person made 10 grand and they paid some income taxes in if they had federal income taxes withheld on their check, they had state income taxes withheld on their check. Well, even though technically they don't have to file, they still might want to because they would be able to get a refund for those taxes. They're not going to owe any tax, but by filing a tax return, they would be able to receive a refund back for all the taxes, the federal and state income taxes that were withheld from their paycheck. So that's a reason to file, even if you don't need to. And the IRS, unfortunately, once the money's in their hands, they're not going to send it back to you until you file a tax return. So that's why if you want your money back, you have to file a tax return to get it. You guys are going to notice for self-employed individuals, all you have to do is make a $400, and when it says $400, it's a net income of $400. So if your total self-employment income after income, you take your income minus your expenses is $400 or greater, then you're going to have to file a tax return, even if your income doesn't even reach these other amounts. All it takes is $400 of net and self-employment income, and you're going to be needing to file a tax return. The only other thing I want to point out for you guys here for a single status filer is if you are a dependent of somebody else and somebody else, if you live with them full time, they're paying the majority of your expenses and so on and so forth, you would have to file if your earned income was $12,000 or more, or 2, even if you just had unearned income of $1,050 or more, you would have to file. So that's when this unearned income column comes into play. If you guys remember, unearned income is your capital gains, your interest, dividends, and things like that. I'm just going to scroll through this real slowly now so you guys can see the other filing statuses. Feel free to pause the video at any point. I'm not going to take the time to explain it, but you can look at it on screen to see if you need to file. Couple of things I want to point out. If you're somebody who files married filing separate, there's some special rules. So they're pretty silly, but these are the rules. So if you're under the age of 65 and you want to file married filing separately, and somebody else can claim you as a dependent, if your income was at least $5, I'm not kidding, it actually says $5 on the instructions as well, and your spouse files a separate return and itemizes deductions, you're going to have to file. If your gross income was more than the larger of $1,050 or your earned income was up to $6,350 or greater, you're going to have to file. So there's very special circumstances if you, or income, I should say, requirements for filing if you file married filing separately. So be looking for that. And I included in the Word document for you guys, so here's the filing statuses for a qualifying widower. But down at the bottom of this Word doc, if we go down to chart A, which I've included in the Word doc directly from the instructions, this is where it talks about married filing separately. As you can see, if your income was at least $5. I don't know who comes up with this stuff. $5? Really? $5? Why not $4.99? Oh gosh. But that's what it is for married filing separately. Higher, if you are over the age of 65, you get a higher standard deduction. So let me go back up to single. So as you notice that you get a little bit higher income threshold before you have to file if you're over the age of 65. There's also a special provision if you're 65 and older and blind, you get an even higher increment. I didn't include it here because it was taking so much time to include all of this detail. If you want to find what those amounts are, just come down here, and within these instructions is where you're going to find that information. It's on chart B. In chart B, it will talk about it within this area if a person is 65 years of age or older or blind. These are 6 areas or things to look for that would require you to file a tax return besides the ones we discussed up here. And like I said, guys, all this information can be found in the instructions. But really, I think if you, like I said, download this Word document for free that I've put together for you, and I think it's going to be a great resource for you to use going forward. Like I said, it's a shame, in my opinion, they don't teach this stuff in school, because so many kids, when they first enter the workforce, they don't know anything about this stuff. They have zero knowledge. So the only way they're going to find out is if they talk to their parents or try to look up stuff online. They're completely lost, and it's such a shame. I understand you guys might have some questions, so if you have any questions at all about this stuff, I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Just leave those questions down in the comments section down below, and I would be happy to get back to you. And besides, even if you just want to say hi, that's fine. I love reading what you guys have to say about all this stuff. All right, guys, if you liked the video, make sure you drop a like before you leave. I'd really appreciate it. Share this information with a friend, especially somebody who's brand new to the workforce, who's somebody who doesn't have any clue of how this stuff works, or if they just need to know what these new tax filing requirements are for 2018. I know they'll find this helpful, I'm sure of it. Last but not least, if you're new to Money in Life TV, I just want to say welcome. On this channel, we're all about teaching people like yourself finances, investing, taxes, and more on a regular basis. So if you're new to the channel, you want to join our community, all you got to do is hit that red subscribe button down below to not miss any of our future uploads. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I look forward to reading your comments down below, and I really hope you found this helpful. Hope you guys have a great week. Stay chill, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Peace.